Hello everyone, it's been quite a while, but this is Stardate 20X6 Map 6. Now you may notice the palette for this map immediately. It's a sort of off-red, maroonish color, and this time I didn't actually make it. Someone else did. You may know of Xulgonoth. He designed Gateway to Shangri-La, the fire blue slaughter map, which is rather good in my opinion. Yeah, he made the palette this time. I figured it's best to credit him for that, because he did something. However, you didn't come here to see the palette. Well, some of you might have, but most of you not. You came here to see the map. And this map is quite annoying, actually. I died 89 times to it. Well, 88. This is the 89th try. And a lot of those deaths were in this one area. You'll see that area later. My strategy for the beginning part is to just do the first fight, and then to leave and go here. In the place that I have referred to as here, we have a cyber demon, some imps, and some infighting. Of course, the infighting isn't there to begin with, you've got to create it. But it can be there if you want. There's also a switch, and there's a line def that I skipped there. Right around the switch there's this line def which stops me from leaving the room like I am now. It puts down bars right behind where the pain elementals were released, so that means I can't leave. I'm skipping this line diff because if I skip the line diff, it makes things easier for me, because I can just hide more. Now that switch, it initiates this fight, which used to be one of the most problematic ones for me. I would die nearly every time near the beginning. However, I've since rerouted it, so instead of it being 10 minutes in, it's 2 minutes in. 2 minutes in like 20 seconds or so. What you want to do is sort of try and stick to the outside walls so that the revenants haven't as clear a line of sight of you, and initiate infighting between the Menkibai and the Cyber Demon. When most, if not all, of the Menkibai are dead, it is time for the Cyber Demon to kill the revenants. And once that's done, you can kill the Cyber Demon, but we haven't quite reached that part yet. I'd say that the biggest problem in this fight is the Menkibai themselves, and sometimes the Revenants. The threat of the Cyber forces you to play around them in such a way that it makes everything more difficult, which is kinda nice, but also kind of annoying sometimes, especially having done this fight many times. I used to die in the beginning a whole lot, but now that I've done it a bunch of times, I don't die in it as much. Here's the first secret. When you walk across this line diff to get that Mega Armor, an Archvile is teleported in, and it is right here. Sometimes it will kill, well, it won't kill, it'll resurrect a bunch of Menkibai, and that's annoying. But luckily this time all the Menkibai were closer to this side of the room, so I didn't have to deal with them. This Archvile is best dealt with from this side, because if you release it along with its intended fights, although this is also intended, if you release it alongside all those guys, which is the other option, it usually gets caught in them, and that makes things more difficult. You can just cheese the hell out of these guys because they can't cross the center line devs because of those gaps in the floor. This is an issue that can be fixed using fake floors, but Rubik's didn't use fake floors here, so you can just abuse it. Somewhat amusing, I suppose. Now that you've kicked the shit out of all those guys, you can shoot the chain gunners. 4 of them teleport in behind you, so just move backward a bit and retreat when necessary, so that you keep everything in front of you. It's also best if the chain gunners die on the staircase or closer to the left side of the room, because an Archvile gets spawned in as soon as I try and get near this Berserk. And I want to lure him over here and try not to resurrect many chain gunners. This switch opens up the most pointless fight of the map. It's just a bunch of imps, and it's pretty boring. This is before Rubik's was absolutely brilliant with combat, so it's more haphazard and annoying. Although this is his first major release, so it's, I guess, better explainable. We'll speed things up a bit. I'm not here to waste your time, so I'll try to refrain from doing so. This is an ambush. I tried to pick up the rocket launcher first so that I can use it later in the fight, and then immediately switch to the plasma, get behind these 3 Arachnotrons, and kill a couple of them until the only ones that remain are far enough away that I can safely use the rocket launcher to blast them all into the next dimension. That dimension being hell, probably. Send them back to where they came from. Here's another ambush. Send in an Archvile. It's sometimes really difficult to dodge the attacks of the Archvile because there's very little cover here. There's a hidden tiny switch above there, which is kind of annoying, to be honest. Tiny switch secrets are somewhat bad, honestly, for the most part. And this is a tiny switch secret which you need to use infinite height to get to. So that's even worse. It releases all these guys once you jump down from this, like, sludge fall, whatever it is. I don't know what it is now, maybe some sort of fruity drink. I like to just run back up here and, as you can see, get everything to infights. But once again, this takes a while, so... But eventually, you can just run around the edge because the walls are staggered, so there's enough space for you not to get screwed by infinite heights. But you do have to be careful, though. Sometimes you still can get screwed by infinite height if you're not, like, careful. I believe there's 6 Revenants here. The chain gun is my preferred weapon to kill them, because you're not going to accidentally blow yourself up, and it's less risky than the super shotgun. Gives you more leeway to get out of the way quicker. As you can see. When you walk in, you get 2 cacodemons on your ass, as they say in the movies. And usually they're not that bad. Most of the time you can just kill them without taking any damage, but that time they decided to walk to opposite ends of the arena and also fire immediately, which is not good for me. I walk up those stairs because it lowers some bars that I want to be lowered. Now that Archvile right there, almost all of the time you can kill him before anything happens. So, like, I don't think I've been zapped by him, like, once, even though I've done 89 attempts. I want to get this supercharge for the next area, which is one of the harder fights of the map. When you walk in, there's a Cyber Demon. If you can get him to infight right away, that's brilliant. But it's also good if you can kill the Revenants quickly, because the Revenants are a problem. A problem that must be dealt with in the only way possible. Missiles. Not just your missiles, though. Cybers as well. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of thinking that I was at 60 health when I was at 160, because usually when you get caught in cacodemons like that, you're gonna take a lot more damage. And because of that, I picked up the supercharge and wasted about 60 health, actually. Luckily for me, though, that doesn't matter, because I still won. Here's another example of playing the waiting game. There's a lot of that in this map, unfortunately. At least with my methods. The Cyber Demon kills all of the Barons. Forgot what they were called for a second. For some reason. Oh, and more tedium. Here's an interesting platforming secret. You jump on the ledge to jump on the ledge, so you can take an elevator up to another ledge. And from this ledge, you'll jump once again to the ledge after lining up properly. And from the ledge, you'll do another instance of lining up properly, so that you can jump yet again to the final ledge. I learned like the perfect positioning for that because I got tired of missing those jumps and wasting time. So, there you go. Here's some incidental combat for you. Run in, kill the imps, kill the Mancubi. And now you can do some freeform stuff by killing the Pinkies. The reason you have to run in first and kill those things is because behind you all these guys get released. And you'd rather not be surrounded, would you? These Hell Knights guard a bunch of rockets, so you might as well use some rockets to collect the rockets. It is a profitable trade after all. You're gonna get more rockets than you spend on the rockets. Those Hell Knights, though, are just there to get in your way. Or conveniently dodge all of your attacks. and waste rockets. Here we have another set piece. There's a bunch of pain elementals here, I believe there are 6. I try to take them out as quickly as I can. That Archvile up top though is a problem. Usually he's not very aggressive, but this time he decided to target me twice. Unusual. You can fall back to here for the most part. I don't think I've ever gotten overrun with this strategy. Since I'm over here, I'm pulling most of the Revenants that didn't come around into the Pain Elemental closets. And now that there's none left, it's just the Pain Elementals. And I can just peek around the corner a couple times and dodge the Archvile fire in order to kill them. Yeah, that Archvile is super aggressive this time. Must have gotten unlucky. Depending on your strategy, you can use many different things for this. Specifically the killing of the Archvile. I need as much plasma as I can get for this next encounter. The main fight of the map. The big problem. If I make it past this fight, then the run's alive. If not, then I just get really pissed off. What I do is I try and go up and down these stairs in a diagonal way, and I use plasma whenever necessary. One of my problems with this fight earlier on was that I would try and not use plasma, but I figured out that if you think you're gonna need to use plasma, just use it. There's no use in risking 20 minutes of your life for no reason. I think I died here maybe 10-15 times. I was very angry with this fight, as you'd expect. I hit one of those switches at the beginning because it brings in a cyber. I don't hit them both because usually I don't have enough time to do it safely. Although I didn't really experiment with that as much as I probably should have. Now we've reached an endpoint, and we have to play another instance of the waiting game. You know, this is why Teal Cybers, or Cyber Juniors, or Mini Cybers, whatever you want to call them, Cybers with 1,000 health, this is why they were invented. So you don't have to super shotgun down Cybers every 10 minutes, or less. Every 5 minutes, actually, in this map. Fortunately, I don't think that... yeah, there's not going to be much more SSGing Cybers anymore in this map. We're past that. Those two Archviles are almost never a threat, unless things go really wrong and you have low health. In that case, they can be a threat, but not this time. I've got rather low health, so I'm trying to find something I can use, but there isn't anything. Here's a risky portion. Sometimes you can get completely screwed if you're really unlucky. You just want to run away. Your best bet to get these Archviles to fucking stay still is to just lure them to corners. If they get into a corner, they get sort of trapped there for a bit. Because of all the barons. A similar thing happens with Barons. It's just that Archvals are much more problematic due to their speed and how often they like to move. I'm going to turn around in a second and notice something. Or maybe it'll happen in a minute. We'll see. Yeah, I think it's gonna happen in like a minute. There's a bunch of arachnotrons down here. They don't deserve to live, so I'm fixing the issue. They're pretty annoying. They aren't hard, they just kind of waste your time for a little bit. Guess this is incidental combat or something. They're pretty annoying though, I guess. Because there's no super good way of dealing with them. Apart from just like using rockets, but in this map, rockets are something that you need. You can't just spend them on anything. Now here's an interesting scenario. What you can do here is if you enter it from the back, you can just like not have the door open and then leave the fight. That gives you this scenario in which you basically lead them out. Unfortunately, I've got very few rockets, and they pushed more than usual, so they came out all the way and resurrected some stuff. So that's kind of a problem. However, I've still got a bunch of plasma left over from the big problematic fight, so it wasn't too much of an issue because I could just use that. I'm just searching for stuff at this point. Looking for more resources. There aren't any, but that doesn't really matter. In the next fight, that being the one of the probably the largest fight in the map. Not the most enemies, I don't think, but the largest scale fight. You do get a Soul Sphere and Mega Armor. But I still go back to get the green armor, which is now like a maroon, at the top of this spiral spire. Also take a look there. I took the Mega Armor earlier, though. That was in that secret, so there's nothing there. Something you may have asked yourself when I got the yellow key is why? Well, it'll be needed later. Not yet, but later. Here's another fight where my strategy is to hit all the switches and leave, or bypass it in some way. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Here's a section that can be tedious. Once again, there's a lot of enemies with a lot of health, but you don't have the firepower to kill them quickly, and their positioning also makes that difficult. Might as well speed things up a little bit. I'm just gonna be sniping and super shotgunning these Hell Knights for a bit. Unfortunately, these Hell are too far away for me to like use hit scan weapons at all, so my only option is rockets and plasma, but that's not a very good option. Here we have another instance of me cheesing a fight. Basically, you're on top of a teleporter, which when you walk through it, you leave that area. So what you do is you get yourself slightly off the edge of the teleporter, but not off far enough that you're going to fall off. And then you can just fire your weapon and leave, which will alert all the enemies and bring them to one side, because starting, they're just surrounding you. And it's better if they're not. As you can see, now they're all on one side. And I can just use the plasma to bypass their existence. More super shotgun. So there's the blue key. That is the last key in the map. There are no skull keys. And with it I can leave. That's not gonna happen yet though. I've got to clear out all those guys down there, which means infighting. I'm trying to get the cyber or other stuff to kill all the archviles, and I decided to go into there in order to try and kill one of them myself after luring everything to the edge. And now I will be cleaning up the final remaining few that survived the infighting and my own attacks. There's no need to, care about how much ammo you're taking from here. This is the last major, resource drop in the map. So just take everything. So now we're back here. There's a bunch of Hell Knights there. I should not have rocketed them. I can release a bunch of Revenants, which would help kill them, and they would kill some of the Revenants. I should have done that, but I forgot, because I don't get to this part of the map. This is the furthest attempt I had had at this point, so that's why I'm less polished later on. Running away seems to work for a lot of the fights in this map, this being one of them, and you'll see later. It's quite amusing what you can do. Saw it from Touchdown, implemented it myself because I got tired of this map and didn't want to deal with it properly. Here are the revenants I was talking about. I'm just going to shoot some rockets and shotgun blasts at them, I believe. It would have been better if I used plasma instead of rockets. Also, here's an annoying missile that I just got screwed into having no way to dodge. Platforming. I should have practiced this platforming more. You don't die if you fall down, but it is annoying and wastes time. And if you fall down many times, waste a lot of time. These two ambushes, your best bet is to just kill everything as quickly as possible. If you can do that, then they won't pose a threat. Now here's where things go wrong. Actually, no, not yet. I'm pretty sure that I just figured I would be better off with more health. Even though there's a megasphere right before the end. And here's where everything goes downhill. You know, this probably cost me like 3 minutes over the whole run. What a waste of time. I find it kind of interesting that this map has exactly 1,000 enemies and exactly 300 enemies in the last fight. To me it seems like Rubik's was probably figuring that there was like somewhere around 1,000 enemies in the original version of the map, and just changed it to be that way in one of the larger fights. Right here, this is the finale. I'm luring all the cyber demons to one side so that I can get to the switches behind them. If I can hit all switches, I can open the exit, and the exit allows you to backtrack. Nearly got hit by a missile right there, but I am feeling lucky. Here's your secret. And you can leave. Just like that. Now where am I going? There was an arena that overlooked the final fight. This arena. And I can just watch everything kill itself. It's gonna take a while though. All the revenants have teleported in. And now I've decided that it is my duty to speed things up since the cyber demons have all died. So that means I have to kill the remaining enemies. I don't want to do the platforming again and go over there because I'm pretty sure they can shoot at you while you're platforming. And even if I got through, they would just be crowding around the entrance, and that's a problem. Also, massive revenant projectile hits on the wall. Loud noise. This is a persistent missile. Now back to the platforming. This time, I do better. Marginally. I'm not sure why I suddenly lost all ability to do this platforming. In practice it was fine. But this isn't practice. It's similar in the one, the main fight in the center of the map with all of the enemies. The other big fight of the map. The one that I died 15 times on, 10 to 15 times. In practice, I got that fight 75% of the time, if not more. But this isn't practice. This is reality. Well, no, it's not that either. I did take damage during the run. You probably noticed. However, that is Map 6 of Stardate. It's a decent map. I'd say that there are better maps in Stardate, including the one after this. So, I suppose I'll see you in it. Hopefully it won't take as long this time. Not like the 2 months it took. I recorded this demo in October. I've just been busy. But anyways, I'll see you in Stardate Map 7, and after that, Swim with the Whales Map 3 in red. Goodbye.